Notice there's no one-size-fits-all method for how to handle your life. You should always consult with a trained, licensed professional appropriate to the decision you need to make. Medical, legal, financial, nutritional, religious, or other professionals should be consulted before making a life-altering decision. Use information from this course at your own risk. Hello, how y'all doing? And welcome to How to Manage Your Monkey. I'm your host, David E. McClendon Sr. And today we're going to talk about Raise the Bridge. But first, a word of prayer. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you in Jesus' name. Thank you for all the many blessings you bestowed upon us. Thank you for everything that you've given us, everything that you've done for us. Please help us to get our lives in order, to get our financial life straightened out, our other parts of our life, our family life, our prayer life, get our life organized. Please help us with that. Help us to grow and learn. And thank you for forgiving us of our many sins. Have mercy upon our lives and upon our souls. It's in Christ's most holy and most precious name that we pray. Amen. Well, today's episode is going to be about Raise the Bridge. And the reason for saying this, if you have a boat that you're looking to float down the river, obviously the boat needs to have enough clearance between it and the bottom of a bridge for it to go under. So if there's not enough room for the boat to go under, you need to raise the bridge. Well, maybe our expenses don't have enough room to go under the bridge that's our income, and so we need to raise the bridge, which is raise our income. And we're going to talk about that today in a fairly long video, actually. So bear with me, and let's get into Raise the Bridge. Now, obviously, if we need to raise the bridge, we need to come up with different sources of income. And I'm going to suggest a few here, like mystery shopping. Now, there are a lot of scams out there, and there are places that will email you and tell you that we'll pay you $250 to go and shop this and to shop that. As a matter of fact, there's one big scam where they say, we're looking to mystery shop a Western Union or MoneyGram agent. And so what you do is we're going to send you a check. You take it and cash the check, and your fee will be part of this, and you will wire us the remainder of the fee. Well, what happens? You cash the check, and it looks like a legitimate check. It's probably drawn on a company that you're aware of, you heard a good bit about, so you don't think anything about it. You go and you cash the check at one of these check cashers. Obviously, you don't want to cash it at your bank because if you're having problems with your finances already, then your bank may not go ahead and give you the cash up front. And there's a good reason for that, because banks usually will recognize these checks as being bogus right off the bat. Well, I've seen it happen where a lady cashed one of these checks, and then a warrant was issued for her arrest for passing a bogus check. And there she was out the money that she'd wired to the company, and she had to make good all the money that she got, the entire amount, the amount that she'd sent to the other company, and the amount that she'd gotten for herself. And the idea was that on the other end of things, the person would go in, get the money at any location in the world. They could go and get the money and be long gone before anybody knew what was happening. This is a very common scam. Another way that they will do this is they'll say, look, we're going to pay you to wrap your car, put signs all over your car, and we need to get right on this because we have this big event. The rodeo's coming to town, or the Super Bowl's coming to town, or whatever, so we need to have your car wrapped before that. So there's a big rush to get this done. And they'll send you a check and say, well, you go and cash the check. You keep the a big chunk of it to be your part of it, to go ahead and pay you for having your car wrapped, and we're going to pay you a commission each month. But you keep the rest and wire it to a particular place, and that's the graphic artist, and he's going to come out and wrap your car. Well, that's no kind of way to do business. I mean, why would you have somebody wire money to the graphic artist when this company could have sent them a check straight on? It doesn't make sense. And we actually had somebody attempt that with us, sending us a check, and I just held on to it, and had thought about turning it over to the police, but I figured, well, there wasn't really any way of tracing this down. So mystery shopping, you have to be careful. First of all, nobody's going to give you cash up front to mystery shop anything. Somebody may send you a product or something like that, but they're not going to give you cash up front for mystery shopping. Usually the way it works is you perform the shop, you turn in all the information, pictures or whatever, and then they PayPal you your money, or maybe mail you a check. In most cases, though, they send it via PayPal. But there are a lot of legitimate companies out there, and I suggest the place to start is with the Mystery Shoppers Providers Association. And if you look on the screen, you should see the URL for them. They have some certification programs. I think they have some that are free now, but they have these programs where you pay to take a test, and they certify you. And the fee for taking the test is minimal, $20 or something like that to get certified. And then companies know that, hey, you are at least trying to be professional with being a mystery shopper. And they have some certifications where you actually go and take certification tests, and that costs a little bit more. But the Mystery Shopper Providers Association is legitimate, and Suzanne and I actually made a fairly decent side income for mystery shopping. One of the big problems that you run into is they'll find a mystery shopper, a company will find a mystery shopper that can get to a location when they don't have any mystery shoppers in that area, and so they tend to have you over shop it, and then the people get used to who you are, and they can figure out, well, this person was in here about the time of that mystery shop, and they were here about the other time, and so it gets to where they know who the mystery shopper is just purely because you're in there so much, asking for the same exact thing the same exact way, which is not unusual for a person to want things the same exact way. But then if you report anything that was wrong, they know that you were the one that reported it. So you have to be careful not to overshop locations, but it can be good and profitable. Suzanne and I went out and did some bank shops where we mystery shopped at different banks to see were the people complying with the different procedures that the bank had set up. Were they asking rapport questions? Were they offering the different products? Were they talking about the different products? Were they just rushing us into it? And there was one day where we just had a route of these, and we went all over this area of Texas and mystery shopped different banks, and it was fairly lucrative for us. And in the meantime, we shopped other places along the way, some restaurants and stuff, so we paid for our food along the way. And by doing that, we paid our mileage fairly well. One thing you want to do when you are mystery shopping is to try to cluster shops together. So if you have one shop that you're having to drive a little ways to, then see if you can pick up another shop close by, and then that way it costs you less overall for your gas. You're making a little bit of money out of it. You can make a profit, and it can be done if you shop it wisely. Another way of making a little bit of money, which is kind of related to mystery shopping, and the reason I say it's kind of related to mystery shopping is because one of the companies that we dealt with, Market Force, had a section on merchandising. And this is really kind of a great way of making you a little bit of side money and not being locked into a regular second job or whatever. In this, different companies have contracted with vendors like, say, a jewelry company or a telephone company. And they'll have a small job that needs to be done that they don't want to pay a regular full-time person like a sales rep to go in and do. And one of the things we did was we would be sent by this company to rearrange the DVDs at Dollar General. And it was really not time consuming. After a little while of getting used to it, we did it every few weeks. And after getting used to it, we knew about what we were doing, and it didn't take long at all. And they typically pay a flat fee. You go in and they tell you it'll take about an hour, and they pay you a flat fee to do whatever. You're not paid by the hour, you're paid by the job. Other things that we did was we had to go and count cell phones and make sure that the cell phones were properly displayed for some of these prepaid companies. to check what they call chits for different card companies that would sell, say, prepaid phone expenses, that type of thing. And a chit is a little card that you get off the rack and you take to the register, and then the cashier punches in some numbers and hands you a receipt that has all the information on it, and you don't need the card. And the chits are there, just there to remind the cashier how to ring it in. And sometimes people will go ahead and take these chits instead of, thinking that they need it, instead of leaving it behind like they're supposed to. So the companies are usually having to resupply the displays, and they'll send the merchandise to the store for you to go and set up. We did that on quite a few occasions, and one that was really kind of fun was going to a place and inflating their balloons and making sure that their balloons were properly, completely inflated and on display, especially for special events coming up like Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, 4th of July, places like that, or times like that. And it was really kind of a fun way to make a little extra money. It wasn't hard work. We did one that was kind of hard work. It took 16 hours, but we were paid adequately for that. So merchandising is something that you may want to check out and see how it'll work for you. Another way of raising a little money is to become a notary public. In many states it's a simple procedure, and one thing you may want to do is get one of these online companies that helps, like the National Notary Association. You go online, you fill out a form online, and you pay the fee online, and they take care of all the filing with the state, send you the necessary manual to tell you how to be a notary and what's involved with being a notary, and send you the necessary forms and to seal. They also provide the option to purchase their errors and omissions insurance and send you different information along the way. Now, in some states you could actually perform marriage ceremonies, and you can make that a part of your notary service. In other states you're not allowed to do that, and you'll have to check with your state to see if that's one of your responsibilities or possible responsibilities. Now, this works real well because there are oftentimes people are looking for a notary but can't find one, and there are times people are looking for a notary. They don't want to have to go to the bank or to the funeral home or wherever else to find a notary to notarize their items, and so they'll call up, and if you're a mobile notary where you can go to them, you advertise you're a mobile notary, put you some magnetic signs on the side of the car, get you print up some different business cards with your phone number and that you are a mobile notary, hand them out to everybody. And this actually worked for us. People saw the signs on the side of the car and said, oh, mobile notary, I need to jot that down. And after a while, people were coming to us, calling us up saying, hey, can you come out? And the fee that you're able to charge, the maximum fee, is usually set by the state. But there are times that people will package this in with other things that they need to have done. Okay, you're a mobile notary, and while you're here, can you answer a few other questions on something else? You're not a lawyer when you do this, and you can't give legal advice, but you can help people to find other services, and they may be willing to pay you an additional amount of money for helping them with other things, or merely for coming out, but you can't charge more than the maximum amount allowed by the state. That worked real well for us. We stopped when I had the strokes, and so we don't do that any longer, but it worked really well for us. We took cards to the different, some of the small independently owned convenience stores, and people would come in those places and say, hey man, do you know a notary? And they say, well, hold on, let me call and get you one here. And about 5 minutes later, we'd show up, notarize their stuff, and send them on their way. And they were happy, and the store owner was happy because he was able to help a customer. And that works well. Another job that you can do to pick up a little extra money is to run errands for people. Back when my father was going to Newberry College, he made an arrangement with a local dry cleaner where he could get the dry cleaning for a discount, and he would go along the dorms and pick up dry cleaning clothes that people wanted to have dry cleaned, and charge them for taking the clothes to the cleaner and back in, plus charge them for the regular dry cleaning bill. And the dry cleaning bill would indicate the amount before the discount. So my father was able to pocket the little bit of discount that he had along with the fee that he got for taking the things to the dry cleaner and back. And one of the things he talked about was he'd be walking to the dry cleaner, and people that had paid him for to take their dry cleaning would ride by in their car and toot the horn at him and laugh at him for doing that. But here he was making money, and the other people were out spending money. So it worked out for him. Other errands you might want to, you may be able to pick up some items for someone, like they have dry cleaning they want to have picked up. They have prescriptions they want to have picked up, but they don't or want to leave their house or can't leave their house for whatever reason. And you can charge a nominal fee for this. Take somebody's dog to the vet, drop somebody's kid off at the school for them, different things like that. Make a bank deposit for some people. Some businesses, very, very small businesses, don't have anyone that can run and make a bank deposit. And if you're trustworthy enough, they may give you the, usually it's all in checks and not cash, give you the checks to go and deposit at the bank. And those are different things that can be done. I'm sure if you put your mind to it, you can think of other errands that you could run for people and make a little bit of money by charging them a small fee for running the errands. Kind of associated with the personal errands or the errands is personal shopping. Now, some people hate to go shopping, and they'll pay a person and say, here's my sizes, go and buy me a new hat, a sweater, or other clothing, or I don't want to have to go to town to pick up this, so how about you pick it up when you go and pay you a little extra for it. There are some people that absolutely hate to go to the grocery store, and they don't mind paying a little extra for having you pick up their groceries for them. Well, how about getting me some Coke, some cans of soup, some bread, or whatever, and pay you a little extra for it. And if you combine this with rebates and that you can get with some of the rebate apps we'll tell you about here in a little bit, do some scanning while you're there with some of the scanning apps we'll tell you about here in a little bit, use coupons and your store loyalty cards, charge the person that's having you do the personal shopping with the regular price of the item, a small fee for you actually doing the shopping, and you can make a little bit of extra money on the side and combine it with some other things. Other types of personal shopping would be, like I mentioned before, clothing, some hardware items. The person doesn't have the time or the interest in going to the hardware store, but they need certain small items. You can pick up as you go around to your errands, your shopping, and this allows you to make a little bit of side money. Another thing you could do, and you could combine this in with your personal shopping, is to make gift baskets, customized gift baskets for people. You buy some fairly nice looking baskets, and then you fill it in with different items that would be of interest to the person receiving it. Like, say for instance, you had a golfer that somebody's wanting to give a basket to. You might find a little figurine that showed a funny golfer, maybe a golf hat, some tees, golf balls, different things that would be of interest to a golfer, a coffee mug with a picture of a golf scene or something like that on it, and make you a basket around Valentine's Day. Fill the basket with hearts and teddy bears and flowers and stuff like that, and you charge for the item that's going in there, and a little bit of you charge enough to make a slight profit on each item, and you charge a little bit for the assembling of the basket and maybe even the delivery of it. And this is something that you want to get the cash up front, because people who may have every good intention of paying you for the basket, things may come and keep them from paying you. So this is where you want to have the cash up front before you actually deliver the gift basket. You can't go and repossess a gift from somebody that's received it after the fact. That's just be very bad. So remember to get cash up front if you're doing any type of gift basket or floral arrangements or anything like that. I mentioned a little bit ago about scanning apps. There are several out there. Two of them that come to mind are Shopkicks and Checkpoints. You go into the grocery store or other stores, and they'll give you a list of items that they want you to scan the barcodes for. I'm not sure exactly what the reason for this is, if they just want to verify that the item is available in each store or what have you, but they'll give you a list, and you'll take your smartphone. The list will be on your smartphone. You scan the item. It tells you immediately whether it was accepted, whether that was the right item. You get points, and eventually you built up enough points to get gift cards. Some of these pay with like Walmart gift cards or Amazon gift cards. Some pay through PayPal. Some give you all sorts of options, and this is a way of picking up money for being in the store. You were already in the store. You already went to the store, so it's not costing you anything to get there. And just while you're doing your regular shopping or passing the time or whatever, maybe while you're mystery shopping, you scan some items in the store, get a little bit of points, and pick up a little side money there. Don't forget, in things like that, you can also do something, it's called Savings Catcher at Walmart, where you buy the items at Walmart, and if they find a lower price, they pay you the difference. Maybe you won't get much in the long run, but savings is a savings, and you combine this with ad match or coupons. If you have an employee discount or store discount of some type at whatever store, you combine this with that sort of thing, you get a little bit of extra money back, and that's money that you can put towards reducing your outstanding bills. Another thing you may want to check into is what they call direct sales. And it's like Avon, Tupperware, Mary Kay, and that sort of thing, where you distribute a catalog to a customer. The customer looks it over and places an order with you. The company sends the merchandise to you, and you deliver it and receive the money for it. And this can be very lucrative. Now, I do need to point out that in the past, my wife and I, Suzanne, dealt with one of these direct marketing companies, and we were having a really hard time getting the merchandise from the company. The company had changed hands, had restructured, and so they were having some problems with inventory. And this may be the situation you run into. Be aware of that, but getting involved with these companies to start with is minimal. The cost is minimal, $15, $20 in many cases, sometimes a little bit more. But based purely on their reputation, their product line, people know it. All you have to do is drop off the catalog and wait for people to call in their orders or to go back by and pick up the orders. And it works out to be fairly profitable if you're willing to work it well, if you're willing to get out and get the catalogs out to people and ask for the order. And that's the big thing, ask them, well, do you have an order this week? And maybe they were on the fence about it, and maybe that'll get them to go ahead and place the order. But you don't want to be a pest. You don't want to get to where people, every time they see you, you've got something different to sell to them. So obviously get out, work one product line, maybe two at the most. And we had were involved with another company, and the problem was, well, it was great. Everybody was looking for representatives of this particular company, but shipping was a problem. We had to pay the shipping for items that were sent, and they had a great replacement, a great warranty that they would replace things pretty much with no questions asked. The problem was that we had to pay for the shipping for the item to come in, or the customer was supposed to pay for it, but we couldn't see charging a customer to get a replacement item, so we ate the shipping cost, and in the long run we weren't able to continue with that business. But if you're in a place where the warehouse, the distribution center is close by, then you wouldn't have to pay shipping. You can stop by the distribution center and pick it up. So that's an idea, the thought there. These direct sales organizations are great for making a little extra money. Related to the direct sales is multi-level marketing. Now in multi-level marketing, they'll have a product that they want to sell, and the product's usually pretty good. And we actually were involved with a company that was multi-level marketing at one point in time, and their product was outstanding, and we were able to sell the product a good bit. But they were stressing, get out and recruit more people, recruit more people, recruit more people. And the idea is that you make money off of the sales of the people down from you. And so you recruit more people, and they make money from the people down below them. And they were stressing more the recruiting, getting people out there to sell this, than actually sell it. And that was a big problem. We did really well. They had a catalog that we sold out of, and they had some really well-known products, and we sold them, and they did very well. The only reason we got out of this was back when Suzanne got pregnant and I changed jobs, that we just weren't able to pursue it. But it was a great way of doing, but we didn't like the idea about getting out there and trying to recruit more people into something that they really didn't want to be recruited into. Another thing that we found that worked for us fairly well was a newspaper route. Actually, we had 3 routes. We started out with 2 and developed them, took them from being not so profitable to being more profitable. And of course, since you're already spending the expense to drive through the route, the more newspapers you have to deliver along the route, the more profit you can make. And so we got out, we organized the route a little bit better, found out where all the customers actually were, made the collections on the route, and improved, got more sales, more subscriptions, and were able to produce things along the route. And at the same point in time, after a while of establishing ourselves on the route, we started putting the brochures from a couple of our direct sales organizations in there with it, and we only had one complaint on that, and that was a person evidently that was selling for that same product line, and they didn't like the idea that we were kind of encroaching on them. So we just didn't put a brochure in their paper. But it worked out fairly well. The time in the morning was rather peaceful. And one thing we noticed, that every time a new deputy came on the route, we'd get pulled over. And he'd ask what we were doing, why we were driving along on the wrong side of the road at the early morning hours. And invariably, every single time when the conversation ended, he would say, "Got an extra paper?" And so we didn't like that the police officer was more or less implying that we needed to give him a paper if we wanted to continue doing what we were doing. But you know, the newspaper gave us newspapers for just that situation, because they knew that it would happen. They knew that all along the way that their carriers were going to get pulled over, and it was the idea that the cops were going to hit us up for a paper each time. So they gave us a paper, a couple papers every morning for doing just that. But it was wrong on the part of the police officers. It's not the way to gain community support when you operate that way. Another way you could make money is like with this YouTube channel here. You can make money by advertising just before your videos play. You can watch a small ad. If you watch this and you don't skip the ad, then we make a very small fee off of it. If there are banner ads that are displayed, if you click on the ad, if it's something that you're interested in, don't click on an ad just to be clicking on it, but if it's an ad that you're interested in, you click on it, we get a small commission out of that. And this is a way where you can make a little extra money. Also, blogging is the same way. You can put banner ads on your different blogs, and you can sell things like Amazon is really great about their associates program. You get a little bit of commission off of everything that you sell through your site if people click on your advertisement that you've displayed and make the purchase during that session, or a session shortly after that. Then you get a small commission off of that, and that works fairly well. I don't know that you will necessarily get rich off of it, but there is a way of making a little extra money. So blogging and vlogging, as some people call the video like this right here, it can be a good side business, and some people make lots of money off of their YouTube channels, and some people make lots of money off of their affiliate programs. So it's something you may want to check out. There's tons of books available. Some of them are even free through the Amazon Kindle program. People will give away their books from time to time as a promotion, and so that's something you may want to look into. Some of these books are good and helpful, and others are not very helpful at all, but you'll just have to ferret out which ones work for you. Another way of making a little extra money is through search engines, things like Swagbucks and I understand that Bing works the same way. Basically, you'll use a particular search engine with a code, and when you sign into the search engine each time, it will log your search results, and you will get points along the way, sometimes more, sometimes less, sometimes none at all. But ultimately it adds up, and you can get PayPal money or Amazon gift cards. And it works by having this little extra bit of money, if you're going to purchase from Amazon anyway, by being able to save some money on your purchase. That's like making money. And if you use PayPal, well, that is making money. And along the way, you will get this money purely by searching things that you're going to be doing anyway. So if you're going to be conducting research on the internet or just searching for whatever, why not get paid for doing it? You're already searching, why not get paid for it? Another thing similar to searching is taking surveys. Now, there are companies that will pay you to take surveys, and I know you've probably seen these things where it advertises it, and then you get into it and it's like a never-ending loop. We'll give you a $100 Amazon card once you complete this, and it's impossible to complete it. It keeps throwing you one right after the other, right after the other. No matter what you do, it continues to throw them at you, so you're never going to earn that $100 Amazon card. But Amazon offers a program. It's called MTurk, Mechanical Turk, where you register with them, and different people looking like college students or some companies looking to get a little information for surveys will pay 50 cents, $1, $2, that sort of thing for you taking the survey. Take you 15, 20 minutes, maybe even an hour, but you're gonna, if you're sitting at your computer with nothing else to do anyway, why not use that time to take a survey, make a little extra money, help out a college student as well. It adds up fairly quickly. We made, off of surveys 1 month, we made enough to pay the power bill, which we had no idea how we were going to pay that power bill, but we were able to get the money from Amazon for doing this search, all these, not searches, for doing these surveys. And it can add up. After a while, though, you'll realize that you qualify for fewer and fewer surveys because you've already taken that survey. But it does add up, 50 cents here, 2 cents there, $1 here, and it's a good way to make a little extra money, and it doesn't cost anything at all to be signed up for it. Another thing you may want to try is publishing ebooks. Now, they're free to publish through the Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. Costs you absolutely nothing to produce it. It's relatively simple. We have 3 books available. If you watch your screen, you'll see those books. They're available from time to time. We give them away free, and so please wait and get them free. But also, they're available through programs like the Kindle Unlimited and the Lending Library, and in those instances you get paid just for somebody reading your book. They've set aside a certain amount of money that they pay the authors for people reading the book. People will borrow the book free, and then when they read it, you get paid kind of on a per page basis. So the more they read, the more you make, and you'll notice probably $1 or $2 each month out of this program, maybe a little bit more. The more books you have, of course, the more income you can receive from this. If you are an expert or at least relatively proficient in a particular area, you might want to write a book on that. If you are an aspiring novelist and you want to write a book like that, go ahead, and you can also turn these books into paperback versions that people can buy through Amazon. It's printed when they buy it, and so Amazon has no inventory involved in it. It costs you nothing to produce it. It's just a little bit of your time, a little bit of your effort. It's not hard at all. I suggest wholeheartedly you check into the Kindle Direct Publishing and see if that will work for you. Well, you've been listening to this video for a while now. Why don't you pause it, go and get you a beverage, maybe a snack, sit back, put the video on pause, and relax for a few minutes, then come back and hear the rest of this. We've got a lot of information for you, but we don't want to overwhelm you, so stop and take a break. There are several organizations or places online that allow people to hook up with other people that are needing to hire someone. One of them is called Upworks. It used to be called Odesk, but it's Upworks, and then another is Fiverr. And with Fiverr, you will see where people are offering a particular job and they'll pay you $5 to do that job. And in other cases, it's where you say that I will do such and such for $5. And some of these things are like people offering to review your product for you. Hopefully they're on the up and up and not just reviewing without actually seeing the product. But you see people that will offer to write a particular booklet for you, and some people will hire people to write these ebooks for them for $5, and in some of these situations the money is fairly decent for what you're doing, and in other cases it's quite time consuming and labor intensive for only $5. And then over at Upworks, people will connect with you, and we've actually used it back when it was called Odesk, where we would write articles that people would use to advertise their product, and not like a review but an actual article describing how the product could be used and the information that is necessary, where they didn't want to pay a full-time copywriter, but they wanted to pay to have someone actually write for them and hopefully have things grammatically correct. Kind of related to the book writing is course writing. Now, just like this course right here will eventually be available through Udemy. Udemy pays people to produce courses. Well, actually, you produce the course and they pay you when people sign up for the courses and pay for taking the course. If you're an expert in an area like, say, finance or basket weaving or whatever, you make videos and you write some text to go along with it and create a course. Udemy will look over it, give you some pointers and tips and help you, and then you charge whatever you feel appropriate, whatever you feel the market will bear, and when people pay for your course, then you get most of the money. Udemy, of course, receives a small portion of this, obviously, since they're the ones going out promoting it for you, that they deserve a little bit, but it's a way of making a little extra money. And it can be residual income that after you've produced it, you sit back and answer questions when people ask questions of their instructor. But other than that, it's almost a done deal, almost a passive income once you've produced it, because you sit back and you receive the royalties from the course. It's a great way to make a little extra money. Now, another way of making a little extra money is something that probably every teenage girl in America has at least thought about at some point in time, and maybe a few others. Babysitting. There's a lot of people out there that simply cannot find adequate babysitting when they're ready for it. Back when I was younger, my sister and her best friend had the local neighborhood pretty much sewed up as being their territory, because they were very responsible individuals, at least while they were babysitting. I won't say otherwise, but responsible individuals that took good care of the kids. And so everybody, when they were looking to hire a babysitter, they called one of the two of them. And when those two were already booked, then they would suggest their friends, and their friends would make a little money. They'd make a little money. It wasn't exactly a service, but I do recall one year when it was for New Year's Eve that all the girls in the neighborhood were already scheduled, already booked for babysitting, and here I was like 11 years old, had never changed a diaper before in my life, had no desire to babysit, and all of a sudden I was told, you're going to babysit for this little boy that lives back behind us. And so off I went, and it was a very easy little bit of side money there, especially for an 11-year-old boy. Another thing is pet sitting. Now, obviously, pet sitting is a little different than babysitting. The animal has a certain routine, just like a child does. Needs to be fed and watered, and their pottying needs to be tended to. But pet sitting, babysitting, sometimes even house sitting, where you watch someone's house while they're away on vacation. These are all ways of making a little extra money that really involve very little work. Another way of making a little extra money is to take in a boarder or a roommate. Now, this isn't for everyone, and you need to be very careful about the people that you take in as a roommate or a boarder, especially if you have children that could be that would be exposed to this boarder or roommate. You need to make sure that this person is a person with good moral values, that isn't going to bring things into your house that you don't want in your house. Isn't going to be smoking in your house or drinking in your house or bringing in all kinds of unwanted other guests or bringing in pets that you wouldn't appreciate. So it will work for some people. There's even a company, I believe it's called Airbnb, where you can get people that are looking for some temporary housing in an area, like for a sporting event or concert. They want to come to town or spend a vacation, and they don't want to go all out and rent a hotel or an apartment while they're there. And so it's a way of making a little extra money, but it's something you need to be very careful with. You need to make sure you have all the liability covered as well, because your insurance company may require that you pay a higher stipend, a higher fee, or they may not want you to do it at all. They may drop your insurance. It's something, though, that you need to investigate if you intend to do this. But it could be, some people swear by it, that it's been a great income opportunity for them. Another way of making a little bit of money is eBay sales. Now, when you're cleaning at your house, you're doing your organization, you may find different items that you'd like to sell, and they may actually get more by selling them on eBay. Some people go even further. They go around and scour the different yard sales and thrift stores looking for items to sell on eBay, and some people make a fairly good profit doing this. You simply make a listing, you pay for the listing, and when the item sells, you pay a little bit more. But people bid on this item. You set a minimum that you want. If you have a minimum, you set a minimum that you want for your item, and then bids go from there. And some of these items will go really well. There's a lot of demand for them, and some of them will just sit there. But if you have a good eye for finding out what people would find valuable, or you have access to a lot of items that people would find valuable, then this is a great way to make a little extra income. Similar to eBay is a company called Etsy. With Etsy, you manufacture items like maybe you knit hats or scarves, or make other little craft projects and sell them on Etsy. There's a small listing fee, and then you pay a little bit more when the item actually sells. You ship it, and you can calculate the shipping, and they can collect your money for you. It's a way of making a little extra income. People that are looking for handcrafted items or custom-made items will come to Etsy looking for these things. And it's a good way for sellers to find buyers, and buyers to find things that they would like. There's a lot of interesting items available on Etsy, so you may want to check that out. It may very well work for you. Another way of making money that's similar to Etsy is hobbies. Now, you may be an amateur photographer and taking a little side job. Maybe somebody wants to pay to have their their picture taken before they leave for a prom, and they want somebody that's got a little better camera than they have on their cell phone. Or you may have someone that is looking to maybe take pictures at their wedding on a very low budget, and they're willing to take the risk that an amateur photographer won't be able to get all the shots, won't be able to do as professional a job as someone that does it all the time. So if you have a fairly decent camera and some lenses and stuff, you may want to look into that. You can also take landscape photography, self-photography, as stock photography on different organizations online. There's different websites all over that you list an item with them, list their picture with them, and when they sell it, they pay you a portion of it. You're giving up the rights to the picture when you sell it, but otherwise it's just sitting in your camera or sitting on your computer, not making you any money. So you sell the image with the understanding that the person has rights to use that image for whatever you've licensed with the rights for the image. Another thing you may look into if you are a little bit savvy with taxes is to take one of these tax courses that's offered through like H&R Block or Jackson Hewitt or a few of the other tax preparation services. Every year they will offer tax courses, and you can take the courses to learn how to prepare taxes for other people, and they give you the resources where you can buy the tax preparation software. Once you have the software, it's pretty much straightforward, pretty much cut and dried. It does take a little bit of thought and a little bit of knowledge to prepare the taxes. But if a person doesn't have a very complicated tax return, then you may be able to prepare their taxes for them, make a little extra money. Sometimes these companies that have the courses will offer jobs to some of their better students. They don't guarantee that you'll get a job, and you're not required to take the job. You can hang out your own shingle to prepare taxes on your own, but there is a procedure that you have to sign up with the IRS to get your tax preparation person's number, so that when you fill out somebody's taxes, that the organization, the IRS, knows who to contact if they have questions. It's a good way of making a little extra side money, especially during the early part of each year. Related to tax preparation is bookkeeping. Now, sometimes people, small businesses especially, have a whole lot of receipts that come in, a whole lot of different expenses, but they don't have time to categorize these receipts into different piles, as it were, to different put it into different categories so that they know what's tax deductible and what isn't. So they'll pay people to input these receipts into a computer, or to simply list them and add them up and see exactly what their expenses have been for the year, so that they can file this with their taxes. There are other reasons for bookkeeping, but this is one of them. Also, another service that can be provided is if you have some expertise in filing with the state permits, then you may want to look into helping small businesses keep up to date with their filing, like their permits for, say, in a convenience store. There's all sorts of permits. If you want to sell propane, you file a permit with the in Texas with the Railroad Commission. If you sell gas, any type of fuel, then you have to sign up with the Environmental Protection Agency or the Department of Environmental Control. If you sell food, then there's health department regulations, and helping small businesses keep up with these different regulations. If you are savvy in this, if you have the information, if you have the knowledge, you can help them in filing for these permits and keeping ahead of having their permits expire on them, helping them keep their services up to date, and it can be a very lucrative thing for you, helping them with their filings. Now, on a completely different note, if you've got a lawnmower and maybe some basic yard care tools, hedge clippers, weed eater, that sort of thing, then you can take in lawn care. Not take it in, but actually start doing lawn care, mow your neighbor's grass or other people in the area's grass. Once you have gotten a general idea about how to mow grass, which isn't difficult, but for some people it is, if you have the physical ability to do this, get your lawnmower, print you up a few business cards, go knock on people's doors, tell them I would like to offer my services for mowing grass, and you will find that there will be some people out there that don't want to mow their grass, but would be happy to pay for it. And there's others that can't mow their grass that would be happy to pay for it. And as your skills improve, you may want to get into landscaping, planting a few hedges or roses or other flowers, or maybe planting a regular vegetable garden for the people, tilling up an area for them to plant a garden. They may want to plant the garden but not want the hassle of getting out there and tilling up the area at the beginning of the season. In some areas, the cost that you can get for, or the money that you can get from mowing grass is quite small, comparatively speaking, to the work. In other areas, you can garner a huge amount. Here in this area, there's one community where the people will pay a pretty top dollar, somewhere $200, $300 for a very small yard just to mow and trim it and to clean up the grass clippings. And then in other areas, you might get $30 to $50 for mowing a huge yard. It all depends on what the market will bear, and the only way of getting out there and learning that is to get out there and actually do it. Ask questions, find out what the people are willing to pay, find out what services they're looking for. Just keep knocking on different doors and asking people, who mows your grass? Would you like to get someone else to do it? And it can be a very, very good way of making a little side money. And some people even go from making side money to turn it into a complete full-time business. It may work out for you. Another thing along with this is yard sales. Now, you may want to have a yard sale. You gather together all the stuff that you have from your organizations, and then you may have relatives that have stuff that they want to get rid of that they'll be happy to give to you, friends, neighbors, they'll be happy to give it to you, and you can have a yard sale, sell these items, make a little extra money. And you may be that you can have one every few months. It depends upon your area, what the regulations are. But yard sale is a way of making a little extra money. People, there are people out there that yard sale just as a hobby. They go from one yard sale to another each week just to see what they can get, and they want to negotiate with the price, and so you need to be willing to negotiate the prices with whomever comes. You can't be really hard and fast on your items, because there's some people that no matter what you price it at, if you price it at a dime, they want it for a penny, even if it's worth $10,000. So whatever you price it at, you need to have a little bit of haggle room in there, because there's some people that they don't see it as a bargain unless they get it less than what you marked it at. But that is an idea of how to make a little extra money. Other things that you may want to check into, and I have no knowledge about how well these work, things like Uber. And Uber is what I understand, and I don't know this from any actual experience, where when you have time to drive around town, like say pick someone up at the airport and take them to their business or home or whatever, or pick someone at one place and take them to another. In some places they allow this, and in other places it's illegal, but it's a person using their private vehicle to drive someone that they've connected through apps on the cell phone, and the driver will have a rating as to how well a driver they are. Were they on time? Did they get them where they needed to be? And did they drive safely? And then the people looking to hire them will have a profile. The driver that took them will say, were they safe? Were they creepy? Did they make a mess in the back seat? Things like that. But this is something that you need to be careful with, because even though a person may appear to be be a good person, they may be driving you out to the middle of nowhere as the driver and dropping you off, or robbing you or what have you, or the person, even though they have a high profile, may actually be using someone else's profile and going to take you out and rob you or do other terrible things to you. And so that's something that you want to take every precaution if you do something like that. So be careful if you use something like this. Like I said, I have no experience in this. There's no real market in the small town we live in to take anybody anywhere, because you just say, hey, to your friend, hey, how about carry me to the store? And usually that'll happen. So this is more for the larger areas. A couple of websites that are put out there by people or were made by people that have been this level of poor before, very, very poor, or have had a lot of debt and wanted to pay it off. They weren't considered poor. There is one by a woman that was actually in a women's shelter for a while, sarahtitus.com. You'll see the URL up on the screen, and you can get some pointers from that website. And then there's a lawyer who got out of school and wanted to pay off his student loans right away. He didn't want to live the typical lawyer lifestyle with fancy cars and fancy houses and all that type of thing. He wanted to be out of debt. And that's Financial Panther, and he gives several ideas of how he was able to produce income from what he called side hustles. One of them was being a bike messenger. When he wasn't performing his legal duties, he was out there being a bike messenger, taking items from one office to another. He has some other ideas about how to make a little side money through these side hustles. So you may want to check that out as well. Now, we hope we've given you some different ideas of how to make a little extra money and how to raise the bridge. Not all of these will work. Maybe none of them will work. But hopefully, it's given you some general ideas. It's got some wheels turning in your brain there to help you learn other ways or think of other ways to make a little extra money. And we're going to use this extra money in some other lessons or episodes that we have. We're going to need this extra money to pay down debt, to get your budget in order, to start saving for retirement. And you won't necessarily have to do this for a long term, but long enough to get all the bills caught up, all the debts paid off, and get you back on the right track and manage that financial monkey. Thank you very much, and drop us an email and let us know at gindysvideos@gmail.com. That's Gindys videos, Gindysvideos Doggone it, you'll figure it out. Gindys videos, Gindysvideos at gindysvideos@gmail.com, or Gindys videos. Forget all about it. Just find an email, send it somewhere. Who cares? Gindys videos, Gindysvideos at gmail.com. And we thank you. Drop us a comment in the box below, because we'll never get that email. Drop us a comment in the comment box below. We thank you. Tech support, get the AC on before I melt. Thank you. Notice that there is no one-size-fits-all financial, nutritional, lifestyle plan that will be right for everyone or every situation. Always consult qualified professionals before making any life-changing decisions. This information is to be used for education only. Use this information at your own risk. This is a Federal Trade Commission required notice. When you click on an advertisement that is displayed with this video, or just before it, we receive a small commission. Sometimes, if you merely watch an ad, we receive commission. If you purchase anything by clicking on links on any of our websites, we receive a commission as well. This is an FTC required notice. How to Manage Your Monkey is a participant in the Amazon Services LLC Associates Program, an affiliate advertising program designed to provide a means for sites to earn advertising fees by advertising and linking to Amazon.com. This video made possible by Manian Double Productions. That's a wrap. Mummy, get in here. It's a wrap. Looking for the mummy. Yes, looking for the mummy. Oh, Murray! Murray! Mummy's name's Murray, you know. What else would you name a mummy?